Y'all, I hope you're ready for a spicy one, because as I said prior, I've got the left hand with a sword fighting off the lefties and liberals. I got a right hand with a sword fighting off the rhinos, and somehow in the middle of this, we gotta frickin' save the country together? Yeah, our work's cut out for us, because we now have 4 GOP rhino senators who are just not gonna vote for the SAVE Act. You know, that thing that they say, you don't need an ID to vote in a national election? Sure, you need IDs to vote in everything else under the sun, like picking up a prescription or renting a car, but voting that determines the outcome of an election in the direction of a nation? No, that's not important according to the rhinos. See? 2 swords. This is going to be spicy. All right, listen, everybody. You can, of course, follow me on X at Braden LOA. Jump into this. Please send this out, because we've got a rhino situation showing their stupid horns again. And this is kind of where I'm going to get at. And this is going to be a little bit spicier of a video, because the rhinos, I put a post out on X earlier. What's worse, a liberal lefty or a freaking rhino in the Republican Party? I think rhinos are actually worse. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments too. As you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. Here we go. Lisa Murkowski, 68 years old, is a no on the SAVE Act. Great. Susan Collins, age 73, is going to run for re-election again. And Chuck Grassley, age 92, is running again. All 3 are Republicans. Okay, 92, running again? I remember way back in the age of, Biden, forever ago, we were seriously questioning if a short-circuiting 84-year-old would be too old. 92? 68? 73? Okay, we might have identified the problem. But anyway, let's keep on trucking. I've got to show you why I am all high volume on y'all. This woman right here. All right. If you are familiar with politics in general over the last 30 years, you know we've got a nice little collection of rhinos. It's the typical usual suspects. You got Lisa Murkowski out of Alaska. You've got Susan Collins out of Maine. You got sometimes some wishy-washy ones across the rest of the state. But usually those 2 rhinos are the ones, Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. Well, living up to their name, and they've added a few leaders, they're straight up saying, I'm not going to go ahead and vote or any kind of support for the Voter ID Act, the SAVE Act that Trump just put forward. The House passed it, and it's, approved by 95% of Republicans and I think 71% of Democrats, with a collective combined support of 85% nationally. I'm just not going to do that because my rhino horn is showing. Okay. Lisa Murkowski becomes the first Republican senator to reject passing the SAVE Act, which would require proof of citizenship to vote nationwide. Why would this even be a remotely controversial thing? And Anna Paulina Luna, representative from the House, put this very nicely and succinctly. These are the things that ID is required. Buying a beer, picking up a prescription, renting a car, boarding a flight, buying cold medicine, getting a piercing, donating blood, renting a hotel room, expressing your Second Amendment rights, opening a bank account, but not voting in American elections. And now this is a very important piece. We're 3 minutes in, so hear me before we continue going when I show you the rest of the rhinos. This is frustrating. This is annoying as hell. I'll be the first one to tell you. But you know what the solution is not? The solution is not to throw your hands up in the air. I'm not saying that you are. I'm saying other entities and other creators and other personalities. Throw your hands up in the air and just say the entire country's doomed and over because 2 rhinos are just being rhinos. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's a fight. It's a struggle, but this is what makes it worth it. It's our country on the payoff on the other side of this, which is why we're going to keep grinding. If the Democrats take the House in 2026, guess what? We're going to keep grinding. If the Republicans hold on to the House, we're going to keep grinding. And in 2028, if J.D. Vance goes up against Kamala Harris and J.D. Vance wins, we're going to grind. And if Kamala Harris... we're going to grind anyway. And then 2030 is going to roll around and the census is going to reapportion everything. And then we're going to continue to grind straight over all the leftist liberalism crazy. But anyway, let's keep on going. I'm glad I got that off my chest. Let me show you the other rhinos here. This is wild to me. I cannot for the life of me figure this out. 49 out of 53 GOP senators now co-sponsor the SAVE Act, requiring proof of citizenship and an ID to vote in federal election. The people who aren't, Senator Susan Collins of Maine, who is running for re-election this year and is a vulnerable seat. That seems like a really stupid thing to do. Lisa Murkowski, of course. Leader McConnell. And Senator John Thune. So the old leader and the current leader of the Republicans in the Senate decided that you don't need an ID to vote. Anybody see any problems? I think we've identified the issue. 49 out of 53 and one prior and one current leader. And then the 2 rhinos. Man, oh man. All right, let's keep on trucking. Maybe there's something else in the mix here that I'm missing. Jenna Ellis, who is no stranger to controversy. This is why the GOP loses. The National Republican Senate Committee really wants to promote Susan Collins as a good candidate. Sure, she's had a few moments, the Kavanaugh speech, but really? Because she just announced her candidacy today at the exact same time where she announced that she's not going to be voting for the, Voter ID Save America Act, which seems counterintuitive. Okay, here we go. Look, John Thune. That name sounds familiar. That's the leader in the Senate of the Republicans. That's the same guy who's on this exact same list right here who's also not voting for the SAVE Act. It's weird. I wonder why he wouldn't change any filibuster rules to get the SAVE Act when he's also personally not going to support it. That is weird, isn't it? Yeah. Now, of course, let me make 100% crystal clear. These are people who are not co-sponsoring. There has been no vote that actually confirms that they have not voted for it, but they're not co-sponsoring it. Now, Lisa Murkowski has openly said, we're going to reject passing it. So Lisa Murkowski has rejected passing the rhino extraordinaire from Alaska. You didn't think rhinos were in Alaska. It'd be too cold? Nope, that's not true. There's one in the wild, in their native habitat, the swamp, which is weird. But anyway, here's John Thune, who did not co-sponsor the legislation. Susan Collins is a proven leader who delivers results for Maine. I've worked closely with her and have seen firsthand her work ethic and effectiveness. Okay, you can be a great work ethic and you can be totally effective if your guiding light and principles is not conservatism, republicanism, or saving the country away from these insane lefties. I don't care how hard you work. You're not there to work hard. You're there to do what we want. Sorry. Anyway, we need Susan Collins in the U.S. Senate and in the fight to deliver results for Maine and America, says John Thune, who's not going to co-sponsor the Save America Act. Y'all, this is the whole point right here. I'm trying to temper my frustration on this, but this is the bottom line right here. Republicans in name only, they could sink the Save Act. So not the Democrats. Nope. The Republicans. So you're going to kill it before it even gets out the gate. You're not even going to get the Democrats to be on record saying they don't want voter ID in the United States. You're just going to kill it yourself before the Democrats have a chance to make themselves look like absolute morons, saying that women can't vote and it's Jim Crow 2.0. You're going to save them the humiliation of that, and you're just not going to vote for it now. You couldn't even feign like you were going to have like a little temptation of following the Constitution. You couldn't even put them in a position where it could be politically advantageous to get Democrats on record. You're just going to go ahead and squash that plant before it starts growing. Yeah, we have a problem. And honestly, the problem is 4 letters. RINO. And that's what I've got for you guys. Listen, I am not dissuaded from our country. I'm not dissuaded from our mission. I will never be dissuaded from our mission. But this is a kick in the shins, and it's really annoying. So make sure you send this out. And I will see you on the live stream tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Braden. See you later.